welcome to Valley Stadium. I'm Alex Worth alongside my color commentators Braden Morrow and Johnny Reynolds. We have an exciting 5A football matchup between the number 9 ranked Waukee Northwest Wolves and the unranked Valley Tigers. The Tigers coming off an impressive homecoming win against Ames, something that really got their offense started.
Yeah, it's a huge game for the Tigers. Obviously, the 1-4 start isn't great, very unlike what this program's done in the past. But you bounce back with that big win, the dominant win last week against Ames, and still a lot to play for down the stretch. They just got to take it one game at a time.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you flip the script if you're the Tigers? You know, you're halfway through the season. What can you do? This will be a big game and a big test for the Tigers.
Yeah, this is really a make or break for the Tigers. Started off the year 0-4, probably had the toughest schedule out of any team in the state, playing the 3 other semifinalists from last year, and then the Waukee Warriors, losing all 4 of those games. It's pretty much do or die now. They need to win out if they really want to have a shot at making the sub-state tournament.
Absolutely. You know, you can look down the line and just go through game by game and say that if they win out, they have a chance at sub-state for sure. But, you know, you got a really good Wolves team coming in tonight, and you can't let them ruin your season.
Yeah, this team, this Waukee Northwest team, very, very strong. And yeah, like you said, the Tigers, it's Waukee Northwest and Ankeny are the 2 challenge teams left on their schedule. You have to think that if they only beat one of those teams and then beating Waterloo West, Marshalltown, and Ames, there's not really a chance that they make it into sub-state with those wins.
We saw some more explosive offense from the Valley Tigers. Can that continue this week? We'll see, because the start of the games to 4, we have not been up to date. We got to get into it and really play Valley football.
Yeah, Drake DeGroot started the game for the Tigers last week against Ames. Really his first dominant start of the season. He came in halfway through the Waukee game, or the Johnston game, played the full Waukee game, and in the Ames game last week, he had his first passing touchdown. He actually had 3 of them. A really great showing by him, maybe to help get him a little bit more experience and a little bit more confidence under his belt.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the biggest key, if I had to pick one for the Tigers tonight, is that Damon Head and Darius Mason running back duo. Last week, Darius Mason had 6 carries for 109 yards and 2 touchdowns. Damon Head 7 for 91 and a touchdown. Both very efficient, and really they haven't been super efficient all year, so that was a really nice change of pace for that running back duo.
And for Waukee, their key is to use Sam Johnson. He's a great passer and runner, great dual threat guy. He has almost as many rushing attempts as he does passing attempts. So that's something that the Tigers really need to watch out for. Their linebackers, especially Theron Castle, need to keep a close eye on him and not let him burn him down the field.
Yeah, and this Northwest offense, they're going to run out of the shotgun a lot of read options, getting Sam Johnson to use his feet. It's going to be a lot of what these junior defensive backs for the Tigers, really all the defensive backs, but especially the guys like Andrew Price, Gage Olson. They've been great tacklers all season. They have to continue that on the wide runs for the Wolves.
I want to focus on like the offensive side of football for the Valley Tigers. We had a pretty easier game against Ames last week, and now we're coming back to conference play against, you know, a very strong Wolves team. So can we get the offense explosive against a good Northwest defense? Can Jaden McGregor possibly live up to the hype?
Yeah, that's something where Jaden McGregor, he's a 4-star recruit. He really has not done much to start the season. He was very anticipated coming into the season. Again, being a 4-star, he's only a sophomore this year. He's only had a handful of deep catches. He's had a few opportunities. In early games, he had quite a few drops. So we'll see if he, after the win against Ames, if he can maybe change things up a little bit, help out this Tiger offense.
Yeah, and they have plenty of talent at those pass catching positions. They have to stay unpredictable and spread the wealth. 9 different players had a catch last week. Guys like Noah Craycraft, AJ Crownover, loads of talent. We'll see if DeGroot can get them involved.
So now the Tigers are setting up for the opening kickoff. They will be kicking it away. Rico Alvarenga will be the kickoff specialist for the Tigers. Back to return for the Wolves is Caleb Williams and Grant McComas. Excuse me, that is Caden Shoemaker back to return with James.
Student section rocking for the Tigers as always. Great to see.
Yeah, they have a section and a half full of Tiger students, very enthusiastic, very passionate about this football team. Alvarenga gets up for the kick. It's a nice line drive, and it'll go into the end zone, and James will catch it for a touchback. So the Wolves will be starting with the ball on their own 20-yard line.
And look for how the Wolves are able to use Caleb James. He's a junior running back. He splits carries with another running back, Ryan Woodruff, the sophomore. He's going to get the ball a lot of motions pre-play. They like to get him the ball.
So now the Wolves are setting up in shotgun formation, like you said, Britton. One wide receiver left, one right. They've got a fullback in the game, and Caleb James is in the backfield with quarterback Sam Johnson. First down and 10. Johnson takes snap. He will hand it off to James, cutting left side. Met quickly, doesn't get back to the line. Looks like he loses about a half yard. Good job by that Valley D-line to push those offensive linemen backwards.
Yeah, and it's going to be a lot of Theron Castle and Nick Van Arkel, the two linebackers for the Tigers, because Northwest's going to try to run the football up the middle. These linebackers got to play well, make a lot of tackles.
So now second down and 11. Three wide receivers out right. Shotgun formation. Johnson takes a snap. He will fake the handoff, looks to his right. It is caught and pushed almost out of bounds. Right before the out of bounds line was Maverick Inman, the junior wide receiver, about a yard short of the line to gain at the 29.
What a hit there. But can we see this Sam Johnson? He's probably one of the best quarterbacks in the conference. He is very good. Can they run up the score against the Tigers?
And it looks like there is an injured player for the Tigers. That is Sam Swanson. He was in there to make the hit with Isaiah Pinks, the defensive back. He is on the ground, so we're going to take a quick injury timeout. Welcome back to Valley Stadium. The Northwest Wolves just had a great run down to the Tiger 30-yard line. A great run there from running back Caleb James.
Yeah, and that's James, the guy they want to get it to a lot. Only averaging 3.6 yards a carry this year, so that's a great sign.
So now first down and 10 from the 31-yard line. Two wide receivers left, one right. Johnson takes snap. He will fake the handoff to James. He is met at the line of scrimmage quickly by who else but Ramez Naba, the big defensive tackle for the Tigers.
And last year, Ramez was probably one of the most key players on this defense that got all the way to the state title, and that was only him as a junior. This year, in his senior year, I think he's been a little bit quieter than anticipated, but still a lot of time left in the season for him to step it up.
This defensive line has improved a bunch from that Dowling game. It's just been great to see the improvement from the Valley Tigers.
So now two wide receivers right, James in motion left side. Johnson alone in the backfield takes a snap, and a flag is thrown. Looks like we will have, let's see what the refs say here. I'm going to guess it's an offensive false start. Yep. False start. That'll be on Maverick Inman. So that'll push the Wolves back 5 yards to the 36-yard line, bringing up second down and 15. Just over 10 minutes left to play in the first quarter. One wide receiver left and one right. Man in motion behind the line. Johnson gets the snap. He will hand it off to James, right side. He is swarmed quickly again, and he'll be brought down, that time by Theron Castle and Kelvin Dacey.
This is an important thing to watch. The Northwest Wolves cannot get behind the sticks today, cannot be in second and long, third and longs, because when they're forced to throw the ball, they become very one-dimensional, and Sam Johnson can be very turnover-prone. Threw 3 interceptions in a Week 3 game against Waukee. They got to stay on pace.
So now ball at the right hash mark, 2 wide receivers left. Johnson in the backfield, drops back, rolls out to his left, looking downfield. He airs it out deep, and it's overthrown. That time he was looking for Will Retz, the senior receiver, just overthrew him. And now we'll see what the Wolves do. Ball is at the 36-yard line. And it looks like they are going to punt the ball.
Good coverage on that last play from Gage Olson, almost with the interception.
Actually, it looks like they are going to go for it here. It's a little tricky.
Huge play call.
It's a little tricky, too, because Sam Johnson is also the punter.
Yeah.
Yep, so he will do a quick punt. Not a great kick. It'll bounce
Rugby
at the
style
10,
punt.
and it will roll just before the end zone, down at the 1-yard line. A great punt there from Johnson, giving the Tigers some tough field position for their opening drive.
I think it's crazy how much we see those quarterback punts. You see them from like so many teams across the state, and it's never in like college or pro football. But I mean, that was a great punt down to the 1-yard line.
Even with the Tigers, Caleb Jewell, when he's at the start of the year, he was doing punting duties as well. So I feel like it's a lot more common to have position players doing the punting role. So now the Tigers will take the field. Drake DeGroot leading his team out there to the 1-yard line. 9:12 left in the first quarter. Damon Head behind DeGroot. DeGroot will push forward, maybe pick up a yard there on the QB sneak.
Drake DeGroot isn't a very big guy. Surprising that they like to use him with the quarterback sneak there.
And for an offense that struggled so far this year, it's not a great starting field position all the way backed up at your 1, forced a QB sneak on first down.
Yeah, Johnny, like you said, Drake DeGroot, not a big guy. He's 5'11", 170. Surprised they didn't go with the Damon Head handoff there. But now they have 2nd down and 9. So now 2 wide receivers out left. Head is still in the backfield with DeGroot. DeGroot takes a snap. Little high. He gets it to Damon Head. He breaks up the middle, breaks a tackle, and was wrapped up at the 8-yard line, bringing up a 3rd down and 3 for the Tigers.
Solid run there by Head, looking to continue his very efficient performance from last week. Split duties with Darius Mason.
Almost looked like a busted play there. Good composure by Drake DeGroot to be able to hand that ball off and not afford a possible safety.
So now they'll go with 1 wide receiver right and 1 left. Shotgun formation. Noah Craycraft motions to the right. DeGroot takes a snap. He will hand it off to Head, who is met quickly. He's pushed forward a little bit, and
Fighting for it.
it looks like he will be about a half yard short. So we'll see what the Tigers do here.
Looks like they'll probably have to punt, being inside their own 15-yard line. Yep.
Yep, here comes the punt team.
That's a quick 3 and out for the Tigers. We have seen that a lot. This year, but tough field position. You got to deal what you got.
So now Rico Alvarenga will come on to punt for the Tigers with 7:10 left in the first quarter. Back to return is Inman and Shoemaker. Low snap. Alvarenga gets it. Nice high kick to the 50. Shoemaker catches it, runs backwards, and he is wrapped up at the 49-yard line of the Tigers.
Maverick Inman, the junior receiver for the Wolves, one of the other returners, is this team's leading receiver. 21 catches, 339 yards, 4 touchdowns. Had 2 touchdowns last week against Waterloo West. They try to get him the ball a lot quickly on wide receiver screens.
So now the Wolves will set up for their second drive of the first quarter after the first one stalled out. 3 receivers left. In the backfield is Ryan Woodruff with Johnson. Johnson will take the snap. He will fake the handoff. Look out to his left. It's caught by Inman at the 50. He is brought down at the 44-yard line, a pickup of 5.
I think it's really interesting to see Jaden McGregory out there at cornerback. He's actually played a lot of DB the last couple of weeks. Against Johnston, a couple games ago, he had an interception and returned it for about 30, 40 yards. And it shows the talent he has and versatility.
It's now 2nd down and 5. Man in motion in front of Johnson. Johnson will hand it off to James, who is tripped up and maybe gets about a half yard there. Looks like he tripped over his own blocker. So now it'll be 3rd down and about 4 yards at the 43-yard line of the Tigers. One wide receiver out left, one right. Woodruff is in the backfield with Johnson. Johnson takes a snap. He keeps it, rolls out to his left, looking downfield. Pressure coming from Dacey. Throws it, and it's intercepted by the Tigers. That is Gage Olson. Got it right at the line of scrimmage at the 43-yard line. Looks like they'll say the 41-yard line of the Tigers.
What a great read there. And now can the Valley Tiger offense reflect off this and get down the field and possibly score some points?
It all started with excellent coverage by Isaiah Pinks. His receiver tried to run a comeback route. He closed it off, forced Johnson to roll out and make a pretty bad read for an interception. Big play for this defense.
And it looked like it was almost triple coverage there. Not a great decision from Johnson. Johnson is known for throwing interceptions. So now the Tigers will have it at the 41-yard line. One wide receiver left and one right. DeGroot takes a snap, drops back, throws it, almost intercepted by the Wolves. Harry Linen almost able to bring it down just through his hands.
I think DeGroot has actually settled in really well. I know Ames wasn't a great opponent last week, but he just looked really composed, really confident, getting out of the pocket and throwing on the run. Had a couple deep balls, too, that were thrown really accurately, just couldn't come up with the catch.
They've got to watch out for Harry Linen. He had 2 interceptions last week against Waterloo West. So now 2 wide receivers left and one right. Head in the backfield with DeGroot. DeGroot takes a snap, hands it left side to Head, up the middle. He gets it forward for a first down to the Waukee Northwest 48-yard line.
Really
Good
showed
power
speed
run
there, something that we haven't seen all year. That's very good coming into the last part of the season.
Damon Head is a running back who's not afraid to take it up the middle. Sometimes you see guys who don't have the size or the power to take it through those defensive linemen. Damon Head showing his strength and his speed right there. So now 5:35 left to play in the first quarter. Tigers making some substitutions. 1st and 10 at the Wolves 48-yard line.
2 tight end setup here.
The Tigers do like to use their tight ends quite a bit in the run game, not as much in the pass game. They'll send those 2 tight ends in motion to the right side now. DeGroot will take the snap. He will fake the handoff, bootleg out to the left. Pressure coming. DeGroot moves forward. Oh, nice juke, and he is brought down for another first down at the 37-yard line.
That's one of the best qualities of DeGroot is mobility. It's not necessarily all about his speed. It's just being crafty in the pocket and knowing how to evade defenders.
A smart play there from DeGroot. Rather than trying to force the pass, he saw that he had a guy right in front of him, cut the other way, cut the opposite way again, and picked up the first down. Craycraft and McGregory are out right for the Tigers. Darius Mason in the backfield. He'll get the handoff. He cuts right side. Nice gap. Breaks free. Breaks a tackle on the stiff arm. Flag is thrown, but Mason gets in for the touchdown.
We'll see what that flag is, but I think regardless of what it is, we're seeing the luxuries of having 2 really good running backs. Head goes for a 10-yard run a couple plays ago. You bring in some fresh legs. We'll see if it comes back, though.
I'm going to have to assume that's either an illegal block in the back or a hold on the Tigers. Yep, they're bringing them back. Holding. It looks that will be on McGregory. And so that'll push the Tigers back to the... It looks like it'll just push them back to the line of scrimmage because it is 10 yards from the spot of the fouls. A little bit more upfield. But a great touchdown run wiped off the board there for the Tigers.
4.5 here to go in the first.
So now the Tigers going with 2 wide receivers left. Jaden Brown entered the game. A.J. Crownover motions to the left side of the line. DeGroot will fake the handoff and will be sacked at the 42-yard line. Looked like there might have been a little miscommunication there from Head and DeGroot.
I think that's one of the reasons why this Valley offense hasn't been super successful this season. Going back to that last play, you have a holding penalty, and then there you've seen also a lot of miscommunication on snaps and things like that over this season. These kind of silly mistakes have really plagued the Tigers offense.
Now,
Team doesn't have a lot of chemistry. This team is very young with 2 sophomore receivers and a sophomore quarterback.
it's now 2nd down and 15. 3 wide receivers bunched out on the left side of the left hash marks. Head is in the backfield with DeGroot. DeGroot drops back. He runs it forward, right side of the line. He has a little bit of space. Lineman chasing him. He is pushed out of bounds at the 29-yard line, just 2 yards short of the line to gain.
Play made by senior Carter Blakely. A lot of this Northwest defense, a lot of the leading tacklers are seniors. It's been a pretty good defense so far this season, but DeGroot gets out of the pocket there and picks up about 8 yards.
Yeah, it looked like that one was a designed quarterback run, trying to draw the defense towards the left side of the field, sending DeGroot down the right side. So we'll see what they can draw up here. 3rd down and 2, 3:41 left to play in the first quarter. They're going to go with 2 wide receivers. They send 2 tight ends in motion to the right side. That's Schemper and Crownover. DeGroot will hand it off to Head, who makes a nice cutback, and he gets it to the 15-yard line on the run. Looked pretty troublesome there early on. A lot of white jerseys from the Wolves in the backfield.
That was brilliant from Head. I mean, you saw 3 white jerseys closing him down right when he got that ball. Hits a juke, and with how elusive he is, able to get by the defenders and pick up a first down.
So a nice 14-yard pickup there from Damon Head. Now the Tigers from the right hash mark, 1st down and 10 on the 15. 2 wide receivers out left, and a flag comes in from the far side. We'll see what they say.
Dead ball, offside, offense.
So they called offensive offsides.
Line up in the neutral zone.
So that'll push them back to the 20-yard line, bringing up a 1st down and 15. Going with the same formation here, 2 wide receivers out left. DeGroot will hand it off to Head again. He will cut right side. Nice, breaks a tackle at the ankles. He gets to the outside. He will get in for the touchdown. Damon Head carrying the Tigers on this drive.
Yeah, and I think what we've seen the last couple plays and really the last couple games from Damon Head, he's turning into one of the best running backs in the state and had a great time for the Tigers. DeGroot, the young and inexperienced quarterback, can really rely on that run game. Big-time touchdown run.
So now with 2:55 left to play in the first quarter, the Tigers are the first team on the board with a nice touchdown run there from Damon Head. Now Rico Alvarenga on for the PAT. Good snap, it's up, and it is good. That brings the score to Tigers 7, Wolves 0, and we'll take a short break here while we change possessions.
From that pass drive from the Tigers, it was a 61-yard drive, 7 plays with 3 minutes and 7 seconds taken off the clock. It's great to see Tigers score a touchdown here in the first quarter.
Yeah, Damon Head with some nice running there, physical and fast. And now Rico Alvarenga will get ready to kick off for the Tigers. James and Shoemaker are back to return for the Wolves. 2:55 left to play here in the first quarter. Alvarenga gets the boot. It's heading towards James on the near side, and it is into the end zone for a touchback. Rico Alvarenga is pumped. Back-to-back touchbacks off of kickoffs.
I think it is worth noting Northwest has 3 wins, 2 against not great competition. Their biggest wins against Waukee. They went into the 4th quarter of that game down 2 scores, so they have a lot of experience being down in games and still finding a way to come back. They're still got a lot of opportunity here.
So now Northwest has a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. 2 wide receivers out right. Johnson will fake the handoff to James, and he is met by Gage Olson at the 24-yard line for a pickup of 4.
The Wolves had it in the Tigers' territory for 2 possessions. Can they finally get something out of this?
Gage Olson making a nice play after that interception. Johnson gets a snap, rolls out to his left. He throws it left side, caught and pushed out of bounds. That time is Maverick Inman.
Yeah, and going back to that last play, the tackle by Gage Olson, he actually leads this team in tackles with 18. As a cornerback, that's very hard to do. And I think you saw him develop so much last season. It's carried over. He's a great cornerback.
So Inman was a yard short, bringing up 3rd down and 1 at the 29. 1 wide receiver right and left. Johnson will hand it off to James, who's met quickly. And he cuts back outside. He is wrapped up for a loss of 1 yard. A great job by the Valley D-line, not giving him any space to work with.
And you just have to love this start from the Valley defense. They've stopped the run. That's now 3 Northwest possessions, and they're going to send out the punt team. 3 possessions and not much going at all.
And Sam Johnson is coming out for this punt. Their other punter is in now, Tanner Philpott. So now 4th down and 2 from the 28. See what Philpott can do here. High snap, gets it down. Nice kick. Fair catch called for at the 37-yard line by Isaiah Pinks, giving the Tigers their second best field position of the game.
See if they can build on that last touchdown drive. I mean, they haven't really, other than that Ames game, they've never really had a lead and been able to build on it more than just 1 score. We'll see if they can do it here.
You can really tell there's been something flipped in this locker room for Valley. It's been a real struggle for the first half of the season. They just look like a whole different football team right now. It's just great to see.
I think that Ames game definitely helped them out, getting their underclassmen a little bit more experience and preparing them for these big-time matchups against strong teams. And now the Tigers will go pistol formation. DeGroot hands it off to Head, met quickly, and he'll be wrapped up for a loss of 2 at the 35-yard line.
Northwest D-line flashing their teeth right there. That was a great stop. About 5 guys right on Head right when he got the ball. Lost it 2.
The Wolves defense led by senior Chase Lamb. Last year he was 2nd team All-State. Year before that as a sophomore made 3rd team All-State. Last year he had almost 90 tackles, 1 sack, and 7 tackles for loss. DeGroot, he'll get the ball, he'll hand it off to Head again. Head cuts back towards the right side, pushes up towards the 41-yard line for a pickup of 6.
The fact that this defense's 2 best players are 2 senior linebackers makes them extremely hard to run on. The Head's had a decent amount of success so far.
So that'll bring up 3rd down and 6 with 40 seconds left in the first quarter. Ball on the 41-yard line for the Tigers. They'll go with 3 wide receivers right and 2 out left. DeGroot is alone in the backfield, empty formation. DeGroot takes it, pressure coming from the Wolves, throws it over the middle. Nice catch by Noah Craycraft. He's beat his man. He's getting to that end zone. Touchdown, Tigers.
Wow, what a quick strike. This Valley offense looks like a whole new team.
That was a great throw by Drake DeGroot. And there is a flag down on the field. And it will be a roughing the passer call on Northwest.
63 yards from Noah Craycraft. What a touchdown. Great catch and run.
Yeah, great throw there by DeGroot. It looked like it was two crossing routes over the middle. Was able to just overthrow both of the defensive backs there right into Craycraft's arms for the touchdown. So now Rico Alvarenga on to kick his second PAT of the game. 12 seconds left in the first quarter. Snap is a little high, gets it down, kick is up, and it's good. That brings the score to Tigers 14, Wolves nothing. This is really the perfect start for the Tigers.
Absolutely, and Noah Craycraft had a 55-yard touchdown to start off the game last week, and that one was kind of similar. He caught it and then ran big yards after catch. He's really turned into one of this state's best receivers.
I think he's really made a lot of improvement in the previous few weeks, and I think the Tigers have really opened up their passing game. In the early weeks, he was just doing a lot of screen passes, but now back-to-back weeks with 50-plus yard touchdowns, really showing off his athleticism and his speed and his playmaking ability.
That drive was outstanding. Only 3 plays in a 63-yard touchdown with just a minute and 26 off the clock.
Well, and they certainly have the ability to, throw the ball around and make deeper passes. We'll let you jump in right here.
So with the roughing the passer call, the tee will be moved to the northwest 45-yard line instead of the Tiger 40-yard line. So we'll see. Tigers could go with the squib approach here, or they might just kick it straight back into the end zone.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they could put him back deep here. Got the opportunity to do so.
We'll see what Rico Alvarenga can do here. Back to return is James and Shoemaker again for Northwest. Alvarenga takes his run up, and it will just go straight out the back of the end zone, pinning Northwest at their own 20-yard line again. 3 straight touchbacks for the Tigers. So far, great kicking from Rico Alvarenga.
Going back to that last touchdown, it was a little seam crosser, as you mentioned earlier. And DeGroot put it just over the outstretched arms of the DB, and once Craycraft caught it, nobody was going to catch him.
Yeah, Craycraft beat his man, Nathan Stout, all the way down for the touchdown. Stout knew he did not have a chance. So now 1 wide receiver right, 1 left. Johnson will take the snap. He'll hand it off to James. He's met quickly by Ramez Naba, the big body coming in there. Maybe picked up about a yard there.
That's going to take it to the end of the first.
So at the end of the first, the score is Tigers 14, Wolves nothing. Stay tuned after this short break. Welcome back to Valley Stadium. The Tigers have put on a great performance through 1 quarter, scoring 14 points off of 2 big plays.
I'm interested to see if the Wolves are going to open up the playbook here. They, most of the time, are going to have these receivers isolated, press coverage with Isaiah Pinks and Jaden McGregory. You have very talented guys. Will Retz, Maverick Inman. We'll see if they can get them involved.
So 2nd down and 9 at the 21. 3 wide receivers left, 1 right. Johnson will keep it himself off the snap. Running, makes a cut. He is tackled quickly by Nick Van Arkel for the Tigers.
And back to my previous point, it's tough as an offense because they're run heavy, but at some point, and not necessarily yet, we're early 2nd quarter here, but you're going to have to throw the ball.
So the Wolves going with a 4 receiver look, 3 out right, 1 out left. Woodruff is in the backfield with Sam Johnson. Johnson takes a snap, fakes the handoff, throws it over the middle, and it is caught just for a first down by number 5, Michael Dunnigan. Got it up to the 32-yard line. And that'll move the chains for Northwest.
This drive's super important. Northwest got to go down and get some points.
Ball on the right hash mark now. Wide receiver left and right. Johnson in the backfield will take the snap. He will hand it off to Woodruff, who will push forward to the 38-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 6. Like you said, the Wolves, they are a very run-heavy team. I think they're kind of facing this similar situation that the Tigers faced early on. How do you incorporate the pass? But now with 2nd down and 4 at the 38-yard line, Johnson takes a snap. He will fake the handoff, roll out to his right, and he is met just short of the line to gain. And it looks like they will say that he did get there, and that'll move the chains for the Wolves.
Well, and they certainly can't just abandon their offensive identity. You're still early, you don't have to do that, but against Waukee, when they had to throw it a little more, Johnson had 3 picks because he was forced to throw it more and stay away from the run. You know, you got to stick with it for now.
So now it looks like the Wolves are in pistol formation, shotgun formation, 3 wide receivers left. Ball on the right hash mark still. Johnson takes a snap. He will hand it off to Woodruff, who cuts back to his left. Nowhere to go. Ramez Naba, that is, let's see who that is. That was number 38 for the Tigers. That is Zachariah Atal.
There hasn't been any explosive play calls from the Wolves yet. We'll see how that goes throughout the game. But as of now, it's just ground and pound football, and they're getting it done.
It looked like it was actually Theron Castle there on the stop, and Ramez Naba is on the ground for the Tigers. Definitely not the guy you want to see go down. Had a big impact early on in this game.
Well, and this is the game you need him the most, right? I mean, this Northwest team might be the most run-heavy team in the state, so you need your big defensive tackle in there to shore up the run.
And the Tigers run a 3-3-3-4 look, so they only have 3 defensive linemen on the field for most plays. And he takes up a lot of space in the middle. He is a big guy. He is 6'2", 339. So you definitely don't want to run the ball at Ramez Naba.
Hopefully this isn't anything serious as we see him get up. So he should be back into play, but we aren't 100% sure.
So now 2nd down and 8 at the 44-yard line. The Wolves have the ball with 9:33 left in the first half. Another split receiver look, 1 left, 1 right. We've got a fullback in there. Johnson will take the snap. He will fake the handoff. Drop back pressure coming from Dacey. Nice block there. And he is brought down for a loss of 1 after trying to rush forward. That was a great block there from Ryan Woodruff. Kelvin Dacey on the blind side of Johnson was coming in hot. Woodruff hit him mid-air and saved Sam Johnson there.
This Valley defensive line and really front 7 as a whole has so much depth, so many guys rotating in that can make plays.
It's now 3rd down and 9 with 9 minutes left to play in the first half.
The Wolves have been caught in this situation for the past few drives where they're around midfield. Let's see what they can do right here.
Woodruff in the backfield with Johnson. Inman out left. Johnson looks left side towards Inman. McGregory on him. And the incomplete pass, and a flag will be thrown on McGregory. Looks like he grabbed the jersey a little bit there.
Yeah, the closest referee actually didn't throw it. It was the back judge who did it. It did look like a clear pass interference.
That's just something where McGregory's had some of those mental mistakes this season. Dropped passes. There's a couple times where he's pushed off, and yet they will call a pass interference on McGregory. Can't have it there. It was a high lob pass. He really could have jumped up there and swatted it down.
Yeah, Jaden McGregor, he's got to learn from his mistakes from the past few weeks. I mean, it was a one-on-one ball, but he could make that play.
So now the Wolves will have the ball at the 42-yard line of the Tigers. 1st down and 10. Ball on the right hash mark. Johnson in the backfield with Woodruff. Out left is Retz and Inman. Man in motion behind the line. Johnson takes a snap. He will hand it off to Woodruff, who cuts up the middle, breaks a tackle from Dacey, and will be wrapped up by Isaiah Pinks, who slams him down. Pickup of 2.
And going back to that last deep shot, you'll see them take some explosive shots here and there, but that's just not what this offense does. They like to just give the football to Woodruff, to Caleb James, 2 very physical runners, and wear out this defense, especially the front 7.
They're bringing in James now. Looks like he might be playing at the wide receiver position, as Woodruff is still in the backfield with Johnson. You have to put James on the right side of the line. Inman and Rhett are out left. James in the backfield. They'll fake the jet sweep to him. Pressure coming. Deep shot downfield. And he will hit Inman at the 1-yard line, who brings it in for a touchdown.
Big shot.
Waukee getting a big shot of their own there for the touchdown.
It was a 40-yard bomb. What a throw. That is an experienced quarterback of Sam Johnson.
And up to this point, Maverick Inman looks like the absolute vocal point of this offense. Almost every shot somewhat down the field is targeted towards him.
Now the Wolves going with I like to call it the Colorado PAT formation, getting everybody lined up in the wrong spots and then bringing them in. On to kick is number 21, Aiden Gukfa, who gets it up, and it is good, giving the Wolves their first 7 points of the game. Still down 7 with 7:52 left in the first half.
That drive was 80 yards, 4 minutes and 2 seconds with a 40-yard bomb.
Yeah, really a huge answer for the Wolves. They're still in this football game, no doubt about it.
I think the Tigers, their defense has looked great so far, but again, McGregor with that mistake, giving the Wolves a fresh first down, and then it was a good pass there. Great catch. There's a few guys in the area.
When, sometimes what can you do, right? You have to pack the box against this offense. So when they go play action and take those shots, you're forced to have your cornerbacks in one-on-one isolation. And sometimes you're going to make the play. Sometimes they're just going to beat you. That's a really good throw and a really nice play for Maverick Inman.
So now the Tigers will be receiving their first kickoff of the game. It looks like Isaiah Pinks and Noah Craycraft will be back to return for the Tigers. Tanner Philpott will be the kickoff specialist. We'll see what he can do here on his first kickoff of the game. Tigers looking for another big touchdown drive here in the middle of the second quarter. Philpott gets a kick off, and it will be caught by Pinks at the 1-yard line. He will return that towards the left side, up past the 20, spins past the 25, spins forward, and is pushed forward to the 32-yard line. A nice return there of 31 yards.
Great effort there from Pinks, able to shed a couple tackles and get the Tigers some pretty good field position here at their own 32. Looking to capitalize and go score in 3 straight possessions.
Also, just a quick update on Sam Swanson. He was back in there on the kick return. Looks like he is still limping a little bit, but at least he is okay.
As was Ramez Naba, I believe he's back in the game.
Yep, it does look like Naba is healthy on the sidelines. And now it looks like the Tigers will go with a Wildcat formation. Damon Head in the shotgun with Mason to his left. Head will take it himself, left side, past the 35, out of bounds. Looks like he'll be close to the 35.
I mean, if you got 2 really good running backs, might as well put them both on the field.
Damon Head isn't a very big guy, but he acts like it. You just love to see it.
And that's an aggressive play call that we didn't really see much of those from Gary Swenson and the Tigers coaching staff. Maybe starting to have a little bit more trust in their offense and opening up their playbook. Now the Tigers going with pistol formation. Head is lined up behind DeGroot. Craycraft motions to the left. DeGroot will hand it off to Head, who's met at the line. for a loss of 1.
Now you got 3rd and long. Looks to be about 3rd and 9. Look for either Noah Craycraft or Jaden McGregory to get a target.
So 2 running plays there from Damon Head. He's coming off the field now. So is tight end Zach Schemper. And on comes wide receiver Jaden Brown. Look for the Tigers to pass the ball here.
Yeah, this is a big point in the game. We're getting down to halfway through the second quarter. Can the Tigers capitalize after the Northwest touchdown?
So DeGroot alone in the backfield. He drops back. 3-man rush for the Wolves. Man breaks through. DeGroot just throws it out of bounds, and he is hit late. Looks like they will not throw a flag there.
He was looking.
And a flag is thrown now, although I would not be surprised if it is not a roughing the passer, but
Possibly
a personal foul.
Looks like it was senior linebacker Chase Lamb who brought DeGroot down, maybe late.
We'll see what the flag is for. There was a few players up in the referee's face, and they called intentional grounding on DeGroot. You know, I'm not sure that I agree with that call. He rolled out. He was definitely outside of the pocket.
Yeah.
So the pass didn't make it back to the line of scrimmage. It looked like he was. It almost looked like he was trying to get it out, and it slipped out of his hand and skewed more towards the sideline. So that'll push the Tigers back to their own 15-yard line.
Here in the booths, the Tiger section is not liking that call.
Yeah, I'm sure the Tiger fans definitely would have liked a roughing the passer call there. Probably didn't expect the intentional grounding there. So now Rico Alvarenga at his own goal line gets it up, a high kick. Some nice spin to it, and it gets to the 43-yard line where Shoemaker catches it but slips. So a nice punt there from Rico Alvarenga.
Might have been better that he slips because he was about to get swarmed from the Tigers.
Yeah, he was pushed towards the left sideline. He would not have had a lot of room to run. He'll be marked down at the 44-yard line. A good job by Rico Alvarenga to get the Tigers defense a little bit more breathing room. 6:02 left to play in the first half. The Wolves coming off of that big touchdown pass to Maverick Inman. 2 wide receivers right. James in the backfield. James will get the ball, squeezes through the line, met at the 50, and he'll be brought backwards for a pickup of 6.
It was such a huge score last drive for the Wolves and such a huge stop because worst case scenario for this offense is playing from behind because they want to take up a lot of clock. Now they can get back to how they want to play.
Now 2 wide receivers left and 1 right. James in the backfield with quarterback Sam Johnson. Johnson takes the low snap. He will drop back looking over the middle. He's looking for Inman again, who catches it. Beat Cam Kabari there over the middle, and he'll catch it at the 6-yard line.
Maverick Inman looks flat out unguardable right now.
This Tiger defense, they are known for leaving their cornerbacks on an island. They like to bring their safeties in and bring a little bit more pressure in the box, but that leaves plays like that completely exposed.
That was a 51-yard pickup for the Wolves.
That means Inman's already over 100 yards receiving.
The Tigers are definitely going to have to find a way to stop him. So far, the running game hasn't been much of an issue, but Maverick Inman has. Now, the Wolves breaking into formation, and a flag will be thrown. They had 3 guys in the backfield, and then they all moved. I wonder if they'll call a false start here. Maybe a few too many guys moved. And they'll call encroachment on the Tigers. So that'll be half the distance to the goal, bringing it to the 3-yard line.
I guess that's the goal of shifting all those players, right? Get the defense to jump off sides.
Now the Wolves going with the same look. 3 guys in the backfield. Now the line shifts to the right side. The center was playing from the left guard spot. Snaps it to Johnson, who tries to go forward. He is met by Ramez Naba for no gain. Interesting play call there.
Little QB power, right? I mean, I think we got to expect that a lot, especially inside the 5 for the Wolves. Naba showing that he needs to be on the field right now. Really stops that run up the middle.
Wolves going again with this little trickery look. See where they motion to. And 2 guys will slide to the right. and the ball will be handed off to James, who will power it in for the touchdown, giving the Wolves their second touchdown of the second quarter.
Didn't even look like he had that much room there, but when you're running behind two fullbacks and that big offensive line, always a potential touchdown.
And with that formation, you have to assume that the Tigers were possibly expecting them to shift out of it again. But that time, the Wolves just going with that look and a nice power run. And now Gufka will come on to kick for the Wolves. Snap is good, kick is up, and the PAT is good, bringing us to a tied game of 14-14 with 4:22 left to play in the first half. Tigers will be getting the ball. We'll see if they can save their wonderful first half with a score.
That was a quick drive from the Wolves, just a minute 40, and only 5 plays, and bam, they got it in the end zone with a rushing touchdown.
Well, and how about that answer from Northwest, right? I mean, 1-4 Valley really came in looking like a whole new team, and Northwest was able to answer quickly.
Phil Pott leads the kicking team out there, waiting for the football to be brought in.
And now with just over 4 to play, it's really important how both these teams close the half, see who can get some momentum going into halftime.
Yeah, the first quarter was all Tigers with 2 touchdowns. Now the second quarter has been all Wolves with 2 touchdowns. So now Philpott, the lefty kicker, will start his run up here. Pinks and Craycraft back to return for the Tigers. Nice spin on that kick, and it will get into the end zone for a touchback. So now the Tigers will start with the ball at their own 20-yard line, looking to make a little magic happen on offense.
I'm looking for the Tigers to really try to go on a long drive, take up some clock, right? Get some first downs. The defense looks a little bit gassed on the sidelines, just got beat on 2 big drives from the Wolves. So it's very important here that the Tigers can sustain the ball for a while.
Yeah, I think Valley definitely needs to stay away from those costly penalties that have hurt them so far in this first half. Kill some clock, give their defense a break. They'll go with 3 receivers bunched right, 1 left. Jet sweep to Jakari Clark, who is knocked down at the 24-yard line.
Little quick jet sweep action right there. You won't see that very often from Gary Swenson. As you can tell, he's opened up that playbook.
Jakari Clark had 2 carries last week. They were his first 2 of the season. So maybe an interesting little addition there. Looks very quick, though.
After the pickup of 4, 3:53 left in the first half. Ball on the 24-yard line. Ball on the left hash mark. 2 wide receivers out right. That's Craycraft and McGregory. Head in the backfield with DeGroot. DeGroot takes a snap. He'll hand it off to Head, who breaks up the middle, tripped up, and he will get a first down and move the chain for Valley.
I'm actually really liking what I'm seeing so far from this Valley run game. Honestly, seeing the stats and watching the game from last week, I mean, it's hard to not say it's a fluke when you haven't had that success in the previous 4 games against tougher competition, but right now it's not looking like a fluke. They've kept it up.
It's now first down and 10. Another bunch look out right on the right side of the line of scrimmage. DeGroot takes a snap. Pressure coming, throws it out right side, caught by Craycraft, who breaks a few tackles and takes 3 guys to bring him down at the 39-yard line, 1 yard shy of the first down sticks.
Number 25, another senior lineman, Matt Lindholm, for the Wolves, getting in there. DeGroot's able to evade him and make a nice little throw. They'll move the chains.
They're bringing on an extra tight end, looking to maybe do a power run, and they'll bring 2 wide receivers out left in wing formation. Darius Mason is lined up behind DeGroot. DeGroot will hand off to Mason, met quickly, nowhere to run. He will lose about 1.5 yards there.
We haven't seen a lot of Darius Mason action, and it proves that you got to put in what you got working, and he isn't the answer today.
Yeah, Damon has just looked phenomenal in the first half, but you have to assume that he's starting to get a little gassed, carrying the workload for this team. They're bringing out 3 receivers on the left side and 1 out right. Ball's on the right hash mark. DeGroot drops back, looks to his left, throws a screen pass to Darius Mason, who will be brought down by Harry Linen for a pickup of 3.
And that's just a phenomenal read. I mean, he just split between 3 of the lead blockers out there for Mason, made the play. Great recognition there from the senior linebacker.
Yeah, Harry Linen was also a second-team All-State member last year, first-team All-Conference. He's tied for first in 5A with 3 interceptions, leading this. He's a very strong leader for this Wolves defense. 3rd down and 8, just over 2 minutes left to play. Empty backfield, 3 wide receivers right, 2 left. DeGroot takes it, looks to his left, slings it to McGregor, who makes the catch. Forward for the first down to the 43-yard line of the Wolves. McGregory with his first big play of the game.
I mean, that was obviously a great hands catch from McGregory, but it just like, it feels like that's there every play. Like, they can do that more, and hopefully that gives them a little bit of encouragement.
I wonder if maybe it's a trust issue with McGregory having some issues with catching the ball. And not DeGroot, it was a great throw, but it kind of looked like he was looking there the entire time, so we should be glad that nobody picked that one off. Another 4-receiver look, 3 out right, 1 left. DeGroot shovels it to Head, who will push forward for the first down, tackle down at the ankles at the 31-yard line. Back-to-back first downs for the Tigers.
The clock is ticking here with about 1:30, and the Tigers punch in right before the half.
They've already taken 3 minutes off this clock with this drive, exactly the drive they were looking for.
Ball on the right hash mark now. Craycraft alone out right. McGregory and Brown, the sophomores, out right, and a timeout will be called by Gary Swenson with 1:15 left. Trying to figure out how the offense is about to go about this.
DeGroot's walking off a little bit upset, probably some miscommunication with the coaching staff there. The formation looked a little funky.
Yeah, it looked like A.J. Crownover was on the wrong side of the line, had to motion across. There's just a lot of confusion there from the receivers.
This is a perfect night for football, though. And these are 2 really good teams, despite what the records say. 2 of the premier teams in the state going at it. It's been a great first half so far.
As we talked about before the game started, this is a big game for the Tigers for their possible playoff hopes.
So far, they have looked pretty good. Just a few big plays on defense. So now 1st down and 10 from the 31 after the timeout. Shotgun formation. DeGroot takes a snap, looks out to his right, slings it, and looking for Jaden Brown. It looks like he wasn't ready for it. So it'll be incomplete, bringing up 2nd down.
Curious to see how aggressive Valley is here. Right now, you probably only need maybe 1 more first down to get in a field goal range, but do you want to be aggressive and try to go get in the end zone with just over a minute left? We'll see.
I could see them going with some runs here to kill a little bit of clock, but also try and gain some yardage to potentially get into the red zone. 2 wide receivers left and 2 right. Head in the backfield. DeGroot throws it over the middle. Nice catch by McGregory, showing off his athleticism. Jumps up, makes the snag at the 17-yard line. Clock will stop here as they set up. Valley going quick here. Getting the signal from the sidelines.
That's been the missing piece with Jaden McGregor. What a play from him.
A great catch. Now DeGroot will take the snap. He will hand it off to Head, who will run left side. He will be tackled by about 2 or 3 Northwest defensive players for a pickup of 2 yards.
Tigers take a timeout, looks like.
Looks like there's a little bit of miscommunication. The clock is stopped. We have not gotten the official word on if there's a timeout. And it looks like a Yeah, an illegal formation penalty will be called on the Tigers. It sounded like they said they had 4 guys in the backfield.
Yeah, that's a very tough penalty because before that penalty, you were looking like you could definitely get in the end zone. Now we'll see.
But now the clock is stopped, and after that run didn't really produce much. We'll see if they go for a deeper shot here. Mason in the backfield with DeGroot. DeGroot drops back. Clean pocket. Snags it to A.J. Crownover, who's just short of the line to gain. Catches it at the 9-yard line. Clock is ticking. Tigers in hurry up here. Looks like they're going to try and clock it. DeGroot gets it and spikes it.
Still 29 seconds left, and you're at your 9-yard line here. It is 3rd down and a couple. So you got to get it here, but plenty of time to get into the end zone if you can for the Tigers.
Fortunately, they're definitely within Rico's range for the kicking unit, but you would like to see a touchdown here for the Tigers.
The Tigers will get the ball to start the second half. So I think for them, any points are points, but like you said, a touchdown would really be perfect for this offense. 2 wide receivers right, 1 left. DeGroot looks to throw, snags it left side to McGregory, who makes a tackle in for a touchdown. McGregory with his first touchdown as a Valley Tiger. Great play call.
Just a simple comeback route. He catches it. Cornerback goes in to make the tackle. He slips it and walks in for the touchdown. Easily the best half of football we've seen from Jaden McGregory. Looks like an absolute star tonight as a sophomore.
Yeah, McGregory was alone on the left side. Created about 3 yards of separation from his defensive back, and he just got him to slip right off of him for the touchdown. Now Alvarenga on for the kick. It's up. And it is good, bringing the score to Tigers 21, Wolves 14. Good methodical drive there from the Tigers to score.
Yeah, that has been something that you have not seen, which it was a 12-play drive, and you took off 3 minutes and 58 seconds off the clock. And with Jaden McGregor's touchdown, what a way to cap it off for the Tigers.
Yeah, Jaden McGregor with 3 catches there on that drive. A very clutch performance on that possession from McGregory.
Honestly, if you would have told me the score was 21-14 Tigers at halftime, I might not have believed you because this team's been so defensive-oriented and likes to play in low-scoring games. But, I mean, to be honest, this has been a shootout so far.
Fun fact, the Tigers haven't even scored above 20 against a conference opponent, and they've already scored it in the first half.
Yeah, in previous games, I don't even know if they scored more than 20 besides the Ames game. They scored 17, 18. But I don't know that they ever crossed the 20 threshold. So now Rico Alvarenga ready to kick for the Tigers, looking for another touchback. He's done great on the kickoff team, not letting the Wolves get any returns so far. 24 seconds left in the first half.
Most likely Northwest, once they get this football, will be content running out the clock. Only 24 left.
Yeah, there's enough time where if you throw an interception, the Tigers could have enough time to get another score. So definitely want to play it conservative. Alvarenga gets a nice boot on it. A high kick caught at the 6-yard line by Shoemaker, runs it up the middle, and he will be flipped over at the 34-yard line. Looks like that was Isaiah Pinks there.
We'll see. There's a chance they try to take another deep shot and get in the field goal range, but you still need, I mean, about 30, maybe even more yards to get in range for your kicker.
So first down and 10 at the 35-yard line. We'll see if the Tigers maybe go with the more conservative defense, maybe get their safeties involved in the pass coverage. One wide receiver out right, one left. Johnson takes it. He looks to his right. Pressure coming from Naba. Johnson rolls out to his right, and he will chuck it out of bounds with 13 seconds left.
That's just a smart formation. The Valley's been pressing with their cornerbacks a lot all game. That time dropped their cornerbacks off about 7 yards, so the deep shot really wasn't there at all for Sam Johnson.
Yeah, Ramez Naba broke through that line. He was coming straight at Johnson, made him roll out of the pocket there. Johnson will just hand it off to James here, who will be thrown forward. Excuse me, that was an offensive lineman who is thrown forward. James will be tackled at the 41-yard line. I think that was Ramez Naba who literally grabbed the offensive lineman and threw him. Just the sheer strength from Naba. Now bring us to the end of the first half. Scores Tigers 21, Wolves 14. Be sure to stay tuned for the second half after our halftime break. Welcome back to Valley Stadium. I'm Alex Worth alongside my color commentators Britton Morrow and Johnny Reynolds. We've got a good game on our hands. Valley versus Waukee Northwest. About ready for the start of the second half. Scores Valley 21, Wolves 14.
Absolutely. It was a great half for Valley. Offense obviously putting 21 points up on the board. The defense as well. They were tackling really well and stopping the run. Obviously some deep balls, especially to Maverick Inman, hurts you, but that's going to happen when you're pressing on the outside in one-on-one coverage.
Yeah, I think that's something that the Tigers probably weren't anticipating nearly as much. They were looking for more of the run-pass options from Sam Johnson. And yeah, just a few deep shots down the field really hurt them. So look for them to maybe have that in the back of their mind to watch out for Maverick Inman on the sidelines.
The Valley Tigers have really looked offensively and defensively sound. It's been good to see. Can the Wolves get a stop in this drive for the Valley Tigers? Because if Valley, they could go up 2 scores, which could impact the game a lot.
There's a couple of ways Valley could adjust to those explosive plays. They could either drop off their cornerbacks, Pinks, Krabari, give them a couple more yards to work with, or you drop your safeties, specifically Andrew Price. But doing that leaves less people in the box, and Northwest run game would then really explode.
Yeah, I could see Valley maybe going with more like cover 1 options, bringing a safety up top and having him defend the deep pass. But then that, if they go with a deep pass, deep routes on both sides, then safety can't split them both. But I think they definitely need to get those defensive backs involved in more deep zone coverages.
Well, the dual threat ability by this Northwest offense is what makes them so hard to guard. I mean, last week they won 66-0 against Waterloo West, 43-0 at halftime. They basically just went down the field drive after drive, getting into the end zone. It's a potent offense, and it's very hard to stop. We saw that in the first half.
Yeah, it is surprising how both defenses have kind of struggled. Last week against Waterloo West, Waukee Northwest, their defense had 3 defensive touchdowns. They had 2 fumble recovery touchdowns and an interception, pick 6. And yeah, so far both defenses have just given up a few too many big plays, kind of like the Iowa State-Oklahoma State game this past weekend. 2 strong defenses just picked apart.
I don't think people understand how good the Waukee Northwest Wolves are. They lost a very close game to Johnston, I believe within 6 points, and they lost in a shootout of a game against the Warriors, and they lost to Dowling. So that puts them with only 3 losses, and they're 9th in the state. And the Tigers, to be able to be up 7 is huge.
Well, in the Northwest defense, their specialty is forcing turnovers. They forced 9 in 5 games. So I think we've seen Drake DeGroot done a really good job of keeping hold of the ball, not turning it over. That's how this Valley Tigers team is going to have the most success.
They just need to really clean up their sloppy penalties, a defensive pass interference from Jaden McGregory, and intentional grounding from Drake DeGroot. So look for them to really work on those mental errors. And the Tigers will be receiving the ball to start the second half after scoring a touchdown late there in the second half with 24 seconds left. Great position for the Tigers, scoring and then getting the ball immediately right back.
You just have the feeling that we're in for a great second half of football.
Tanner Philpott will get ready to kick for the Wolves. Back again for the Tiger return is Noah Craycraft and Isaiah Pinks. Philpott gets a nice line drive kick, and that will go into the end zone for another touchback. We've seen quite a few of those in this game. Sometimes with high school kickers, they don't have the leg to make it into the end zone, but Philpott and Alvarenga both have been great on the kickoffs.
Yeah, and this is a great opportunity here. See if Valley can go down and take a 2-possession lead and really force Northwest to have to throw the ball and abandon the run.
The Tigers will have the ball at their own 20-yard line.
Also see if Jaden McGregory can stay involved. Had 3 catches on that last drive, last half. See if they can get him the ball more.
Tigers going with 2 wide receivers left, 1 right. Crownover, the tight end, is on the line of scrimmage. Motions over towards the right side. Head in the backfield with Drake DeGroot to DeGroot takes a snap. He will hand off to Head, who runs towards the left side. Nowhere to go. Oh, nice. Slips through a few tackles. Cuts back towards the outside, and he loses 5 there. Would have been a loss of 1. Tried to make something out of nothing, and ends up going backwards.
The junior D lineman, Jack Vineyard, was the original guy to make this play. He has 13.5 tackles this year, but really several Wolves in the backfield there.
So now 2nd down and 15 from their own 15-yard line for the Tigers. We'll see if they maybe start to go a little bit aggressive here. Definitely don't want to give the Wolves good field position early on in the second half. They'll go with 2 wide receivers out right. Wing formation. DeGroot will hand it off to Head again. Runs up the middle. This time he's got a little bit of room. Spin move past the 35 up towards the 40 for a nice pickup of 25.
I can't help but watch him play right now. He reminds me a lot of Rashad Davis, the running back for Dowling, probably the best running back in the state. And I think we've seen Head just get better as the year's gone on because, honestly, I don't think he was doing this in the first couple games of the season. He's breaking a ton of tackles.
And even his skill moves, he's able to spin out of tackles. He's able to get guys to slip right off him. He's able to cut back. He's able to juke. He can do everything. And it looks like Head will come off the field, and they'll bring in Darius Mason. 1st down and 10 from the 40-yard line. 2 wide receivers left, 1 right, 10:50 left in this 3rd quarter. Mason gets the handoff, and he will dive forward for a pickup of 1 to the 41-yard line.
I think a big question is how can they get Darius Mason more involved? Yes, they have a good workload with the running back one, but you know, he is a big guy, and he hasn't been able to push through piles or get big gains.
Looks like a little bit of miscommunication from the Valley sideline. Getting a quick substitution, bringing on an extra tight end. Only 14 left on the play clock. They will get set up with wing formation, 2 wide receivers left. DeGroot takes it, hands it off to Mason, cuts up the middle, met quickly again. Maybe picks up another yard there.
I think, honestly, every single time that Valley's gone with the 2 tight end formation, it's been a run. They haven't used their tight ends much in the pass game this year. A.J. Crownover only with a couple catches. Zach Skemfer, I don't believe, has a catch this year. But it's definitely a power run formation.
So now under 10 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. 3rd down and 8 from the Valley 42-yard line. Damon Head is back in the game for the Tigers. 3 wide receivers out right. Ball in the middle of the field. No wide receivers left. DeGroot takes it, looks to his right. He runs it up the middle, breaks a tackle, and falls at the 46-yard line. 4 yards short of the line to gain. Interesting play call, but not it.
Yeah, I don't know if I loved that. You have Craycraft and McGregory lined up out right. It just feels like a pass there would have made more sense, although DeGroot did get about halfway there. If he would have shedded that 1 tackle, we probably would have picked it up, but I would have liked to see a pass there.
Yeah, we've seen a few designed quarterback runs. That time just didn't work out too well for the Tigers. Rico Alvarenga will get ready to punt now. And back to return is Inman and Shoemaker. A knuckleball of a punt, and it goes out of bounds. And they will say that it went out at the 37-yard line. It's not the best punt from Rico Alvarenga.
See what Northwest can do here. Pretty good offensive first half. Can go down and tie this game up with a touchdown.
So it looks like the Wolves are getting set up in shotgun formation. They'll have 2 wide receivers out left. It's Retz and Inman. Those 2 guys have seen quite a bit of playing time. Johnson gets ready in the backfield, takes the snap. He will hand it off. That's James. Breaks a tackle. Met swallowed up for a gain of 2. Quite a few Valley defensive linemen there for the stop.
Yeah, Caleb James and Ryan Woodruff have actually been really held in check here today. It's been a great job by the Valley defensive line. Last week, it didn't matter which one was in the game. It just seemed like they were breaking off chunk after chunk of a big run. This week, been held in check so far.
Second down and 8 now with under 8.5 minutes left in the third quarter. One wide receiver right, 2 left. Johnson will fake the handoff, drop back. Pressure coming, sails it out of bounds. Bringing up third down for the Wolves.
Good pressure there from Colin Streaker C.
Wolves had good field position on this drive. It would be unfortunate for them to waste it.
Yeah, 37-yard line is very good. All of Rico Alvarenga's kickoffs have gone for a touchback, pitting them at the 20-yard line. They started at 37. Not amazing field position, but definitely don't want to waste it. Now 2 wide receivers left, 1 right. Johnson will fake the QB sneak, hands it off to James, who cuts towards the right sideline, breaks a tackle, breaks another one from Gage Olson, and goes out at the 33-yard line of the Tigers. Interesting play design there. Went with the fake QB sweep to the left and handed it back off to the right.
And that's exactly what they needed. It looked like he was rolling out. Sam Johnson threw a pass out here left and faked it, ran it right with Caleb James, got him out in space, and the playmaker makes a play.
So the Wolves going with another 2 receiver, 1 running back look. James still in the game at running back. Johnson will hand it off. Nowhere to go for Caleb James, picking up almost 1 yard there.
From the last play with that huge gain for Northwest, they finally opened up the playbook with a trick play, and it really helped them as they are now in Tiger field position.
One thing I've noticed about this offense is it's almost exclusively Will Retz and Maverick Inman, almost exclusively those 2 receivers.
So now in the backfield with Johnson is Woodruff. Low snap, but Johnson corrals it. Good pocket, pressure coming from the outside. Johnson is hit out of bounds, tackled down. Looked like there was a little bit of commotion late, but so far no flag is thrown.
Seeing some mobility there from Sam Johnson, able to evade the tackle by linebacker Dane Christensen, get outside and pick up about 7 yards.
Yeah, absolutely. Really showing his experience on that play.
And it looks like they will actually say that he went out of bounds a little bit before there, out at the 28-yard line. Third down and 5 now, under 7.5 in the third quarter. And Valley's defense jumped over the line. Looks like they'll probably get an encroachment call here. Looked like there was a few guys who moved there for the Tigers.
Dead ball, encroachment, defense.
So now it will be,
5-yard penalty, 9 yardage, result, first down.
and so because it was third down and 5, it will be a first down now for Waukee Northwest.
You saw a couple heads go down, a couple arms go up in the air for the Tigers defenders there. That was their chance to get off the field.
First down and 10 now from the 23. Johnson will fake the handoff, keep it to himself, run towards the right side. Good blocking in front of him, gets to the first down, out of bounds towards the 12-yard line.
From the last play with the flag, you cannot give up those costly mistakes, as they just got that first down and then another first down, and now they're looking like they're going to score here.
So the ball is at the 13-yard line, first down and 10. 3 wide receivers out left, none out right. Ball is on the right hash mark. James in the backfield with Johnson. Johnson will keep it himself, run out towards the right side. Pressure coming, hit out of bounds by Cam Krabari. Only able to pick up about a yard there.
Yeah, you're seeing another read option there, which I'm noticing a lot of offenses across the state. Waukee with Beckett Baker, Dowling with Dante Cataldo. A lot of read option offenses, and it's working for the Wolves. It's worked all year, really.
So now second down and 9. Clock stopped at 7:16 after Johnson went out of bounds.
There's been a lot of quarterback run action for this quarter.
So now 2 wide receivers left, 1 right. Ball still on the right hash mark. James in the backfield. James will get the ball, sweeps out left, breaks a tackle, makes a swim move, gets into the end zone for another Northwest touchdown.
Wow. I mean, he looks super explosive, Caleb James. I mean, he just shedded the tackle from Gage Olson with ease, it looked like there. Flew around that edge and got into the end zone pretty easily.
So now the Wolves will look to tie it up with the PAT. Again, Gukfa on for the PAT. Good snap. It's up. Line drive, and it is good. Bringing us to another tie game at 21-21. Another defensive error, I guess you could say, is costly.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. The penalties have killed them, both offensively and defensively, all year. It's kind of like you had that McGregory pass interference in the first half, which led to one of Maverick Inman's deep touchdowns. Now you have that offsides on a 3rd and 5, gives the Wolves a first down, and James gets into the end zone. We're all square here with just over 7 minutes to go in the third quarter.
I think the storyline of the season for the Tigers is making huge mistakes in flags. As we've seen, they had that 3rd and 5, and they gave away that play. That could have deducted a couple points off the board.
Pinks and Craycraft are the return men again for the Tigers. And Philpott will kick off for Northwest. 7:10 left in the third quarter. Definitely feels like it's been a slower start to a quarter. We'll see if the Tigers can maybe achieve a better outcome than on their last drive. Philpott gets the kick. Looks like it will go into the end zone for another touchback.
Yeah, now it's kind of a reset for the Valley offense. You've been great so far today, but at the end of the day, right now you can kind of look at the scoreboard as 0-0, right? You're even. And so what's going to work the best for you? I think so far today it's been getting it to McGregory. You saw Craycraft on that big touchdown. Get it to your wide receivers. I mean, you don't want to abandon the run game because specifically Damon Head's been so good today. But try to get it to those receivers.
I think they need to stay with Damon Head, but also give him a break. They need to throw the ball a little bit more. It's starting to get a little predictable. Maybe throwing a deep shot, catch the Wolves defensive backs off guard. And they'll go with the Tigers will go with a shotgun wing look. 2 wide receivers out right. DeGroot will fake the handoff, looks towards the right side, over the middle, gets it to McGregory. He beats his man. He's brought down at the 50. Man, Jaden McGregory, he already has 4 catches this game. All season he had 8.
Well, just as I called for. That's just play action. You have your guy one-on-one on the outside. He just runs a deep slant. You could call it a post. He catches that. I mean, if he breaks that tackle, he's gone to the house. Instead, it's about a 30-yard pickup and a huge play for this Valley offense.
Yeah, Nathan Stout, who got burned earlier by Noah Craycraft, made the clutch tackle there. Otherwise, McGregory would have gone to the house. Now the Tigers have a 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line. DeGroot will fake the handoff. He will run out towards the left side. Nobody's looking there. Great trickery. He's down to the 10. He will dive in for a touch. They will say he was down out of bounds at the 2-yard line. He got the entire team with that. The D-backs in the secondary were all watching Damon Head. DeGroot was booking it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody even realized on that Northwest defense that he had the ball until he was at about the 20-yard line, and they were able to track him down at the 1. See if they can punch it in here. Wonder if it'll be Damon Head or Darius Mason in the backfield.
Drake DeGroot just looks so much more experienced there. He just took that play with confidence.
So they will bring A.J. Crownover in at fullback. I form here with Damon Head in the backfield. DeGroot will take it. He will hand it off to Head. He'll roll out to the right, but met at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Senior Chase Lamb with the play there. This is where this Northwest defense thrives, inside the 5-yard line. When it's predictably going to be a run, specifically power run up the middle, these 2 linebackers, Chase Lamb and Harry Lennon, can really get in there and stuff it.
Now the Tigers bringing on Jaden Brown and Jaden McGregory at wide receiver. Maybe looking for a pass here to spread out the offense. Head is in the backfield. Shotgun formation. They've got 3 receivers bunched right. McGregory is alone on the left side. DeGroot takes a snap, and he will run it in for a touchdown. A great play by Jake DeGroot. Overall, 47 yards there from Drake DeGroot, running it all by himself.
quick drive from the Tigers, got that play to Jaden McGregory, and that big run from Drake DeGroot, and then Drake DeGroot finishes off with a touchdown.
Looks like they were going for the speed option look there, where DeGroot could take it himself or pitch it off to Damon Head. Now Rico Alvarenga on to kick his 4th PAT of the game. Gets it up, and it is through, bringing the Tigers another touchdown ahead of the Northwest Wolves with 5:46 left to play in the 3rd quarter.
I think the best thing we've seen about DeGroot is his decision making. This offense has a lot of RPOs, and there you saw on a speed option. That's a tough read to make. Do you pitch it? Do you keep it on RPOs? Do you give it to your running back, or do you throw it? He's been kind of flawless here tonight, and only a sophomore. That decision making is superb.
And especially when you're that close on to the goal line and it's a speed option, there's a lot of guys in front of you. Being able to read where they're going, who they're watching, and finding that open gap really shows a lot of great field IQ and leadership from Drake DeGroot.
I mean, this has turned into an absolute shootout. 28-21, by far the most points the Tigers have put up so far this year in a conference game, which obviously excludes last week's game against Ames.
So now Rico Alvarenga-Cervelin looking for another touchback. You can hear the Tiger fans are pumped. I feel like this game has been deflating for both teams. Getting big plays on offense and then giving up big plays on defense. It might be a game of attrition here. Now Alvarenga gets ready. Boots it away. Looks like it won't make it to the end zone. It'll be caught by James at the 5. He'll run it up the right sideline. Makes a man miss, and it'll be chopped down. In there was Dante Shirota to bring him down near the 29-yard line.
And I think if you're the Wolves, a goal of this drive has to be get Caleb James the ball. Had the touchdown run on that last drive and just had a pretty solid return on that kickoff. He's looking very explosive. Try to get him the football.
And look for them to use Sam Johnson a little bit too. He hasn't been too productive on the ground with the read options. And it looks like they will have Woodruff in the backfield with Johnson. 2 wide receivers out left, ball on the right hash mark. Johnson takes it himself, running towards the right sideline, has good blockers, brought out of bounds by Cam Kabari at the 36-yard line.
They're continuing with this option play, as it's been pretty successful for this second half.
So now 2nd down and 3 with 5.5 left to play in the 3rd quarter.
I think the craziest thing about this score is that coming into this game, both teams felt really good about their defenses, but they've both been lit up so far today.
So now 2 wide receivers left, 1 right. Woodruff in the backfield with Johnson. Johnson takes the snap. He'll fake the handoff to Woodruff. Looking downfield, nothing there. Pressure coming, and he throws it down towards the line of scrimmage.
Pressure
Now
was
bring up
there.
3rd down.
Good coverage from the Tigers.
That's a little bit of that cover 1 I think you were talking about, Alex. You see Andrew Price is not in the box. He's sitting back with Gage Olson as well. You're seeing kind of Gage Olson drift into maybe a safety role, but that coverage on the deep ball was a lot better than what we saw in the first half.
Yeah, it looked like they had Inman run a deep post route crossing over the middle. The Tigers read it perfectly. Now 2 wide receivers right, 1 left. 3 guys motion towards the left for the Wolves. Now man in motion, running back across the right. Johnson keeps it. He is met for a tackle behind the line from Kelvin Dacey. Flag is thrown by the far side official. We'll see what they call here. I'm not really sure what this could be unless it's a taunting.
Regardless, a great play by Kelvin Dacey, who only has 3.5 tackles this season, but he's been very active today as we get the decision on the flag here coming up.
The officials are talking it over pretty thoroughly here. And they're going to call an unnecessary roughness on Cam Krabari. Another costly defensive mistake.
Yeah, just as I said last drive, a flag at that 3rd and 5 cost them a couple points here. Big.
And it would have been
Big
a
3rd and
fourth.
3, yeah.
It would have been 4th down and 7
Yeah.
there. Really, just a poor play from Krabari. So now 2 wide receivers left. Inman alone on the right side. Johnson takes the snap. He will hand it off to James, who sweeps out towards the left side and is met for a gain of about 1.5 yards.
Great tackle there from Nick Van Arkel. Tracked the handoff going out wide, followed Caleb James all the way out there to the left boundary and made the play.
And you can tell Johnson's really looking. A lot of these runs for James are read option plays. He's keeping the ball in his hands for quite a while and then handing it off to James. And now they'll go with 3 wide receivers out towards the right side. Shotgun formation. Johnson will take it. James outright. Screen pass. James catches it. Cuts inside. Goes back outside. And he'll be swung down by Gage Olson at the 45-yard line of the Tigers.
He can make people miss, though, can he? I mean, evaded a couple defenders there. Good tackle by Gage Olson.
He had some good blocking in front of him, too.
Yeah, he did.
And now, with that pickup, they'll have a 3rd down and 2 from the 44-yard line of the Tigers. Right now, they have 3 wide receivers out left in shotgun trips formation. Now James motioning out towards the left. Johnson keeps it himself, and he will fall forward for a pickup of 3 and the 1st down.
And I think most times you see an empty backfield for Sam Johnson as he motioned out Caleb James there. It's not guaranteed, but most of the time you're going to see a QB draw, QB power. You saw it there. He gets enough yardage, picks up a 1st down.
So now Northwest going with the same formation. Man motioning behind the line. Johnson takes it. He will fake the handoff, keep it himself. Cuts outside. He has space. Moving out towards the left hash marks. Brought down by McGregory at the 25-yard line.
Another run for Sam Johnson. Can the Tiger defense finally stop him on this drive? He has just been unstoppable.
The quarterbacks in the run game have been phenomenal in this second half so far. Drake DeGroot rushing for 45 yards on the previous Tigers drive, and here's Sam Johnson helping drive his team down the field. Now they'll do the opposite formation with 3 wide receivers outright. Johnson will hand it off to James, cutting out towards the right side, past the right hash marks, chopped down by number 2, Isaiah Pinks, only able to pick up a yard there.
Well, and this drive has showcased Northwest's offense at its finest and at its own identity, what they want to do. Not even really thinking about passing it on most plays. It's just run, run, run. The defense knows it's coming, but still can't stop it. That's how well they execute, the Wolves do.
So now they're subbing off a tight end. Looks like they're going to go with they've got 2 running backs in there. They've got James in as a receiver. Woodruff in the backfield. Look for a little trickery here with James. 2 wide receivers outright. Ball on the right hash mark. James cuts in front of Johnson. Johnson takes the handoff. He's got a man deep. That is overthrown. That time he was looking for number 33, Cole Lynch.
They threw off the Tigers with that play fake as it was almost a touchdown.
Yeah, he was wide open there. Gage Olson got burned, just overthrown there from Sam Johnson.
Now it's an interesting decision. You got about 3rd and 9. Let's see what they do here.
They're going to bring off Woodruff, leave James alone in the backfield with Sam Johnson. And they'll have Will Retz and Maverick Inman out on the left side. Johnson will take the snap. He will fake the handoff, sling it over deep for Inman, and he catches it. A 3rd touchdown for Maverick Inman. Andrew Price was there. He almost got the tip, but a great lob throw for Inman.
And that one was only 24 yards. The other 2 were a little bit longer, but the secondary has had absolutely no answer for him.
Yeah, I thought Price was going to get to that one. It looked like he started falling a little too early. If he would have backpedaled a little bit more, he probably could have swatted that or maybe even come down with an interception. And so now for his 4th PAT of the game, Aiden Gukfa comes on for the PAT. It's up And it is good, bringing us to our third tie game so far, 28-28 with 2:22 left in the third quarter.
This kind of reminds me of the Dowling game in an opposite way. In that Dowling game, both offenses were given, so many opportunities, and it kind of just went stop, 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 stop. The defenses just kept making plays. In this game, it's score, 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 right? I mean, these offenses have just been elite, answering each other every single time.
I think it's been very uncharacteristic because Northwest is a very run-heavy team, and they have 3 passing touchdowns. Sam Johnson to Maverick Inman, that QB wide receiver connection.
The Wolves have had around the same drives for the past couple touchdowns. It was around the 30 to 40 yard line, and they were able to drive down, run it, scored 2 touchdowns.
And so now Philpott will get ready for the kickoff. Wind is going with the Wolves just a little bit, not too strong. And Pinks and Craycraft are back for the Tigers. Philpott with a slow run up, gets it, line drive, and that will go into the end zone for a touchback off the bounce.
I didn't think we would have to talk about it, but this Northwest defense needs to make its own adjustments now. However you game plan for this Valley Tigers offense has not worked at all. Damon Head's had success in the run game, so has Drake DeGroot, and then McGregory and Craycraft have had success in the passing game. So they need to make some changes because they aren't stopping either the run or the pass.
I feel like both teams offensively made adjustments coming into this week. Valley going with some more medium passes and QB sneaks, and the Wolves going with some more deep passes. Tigers have a 1st and 10 at their own 20. DeGroot will hand it off to Damon Head, who again is met quickly for a loss of 2.
It's been very run heavy. The past 2 drives for the Valley Tigers, they've only thrown the ball once, and that was the completion to Jaden McGregory.
So now 2nd down and 12 from the 18. 2 minutes left in the third quarter.
This quarter's lasted quite a while. I mean, that's what happens when you have both teams scoring touchdown after touchdown.
So now they'll go with 2 receivers left and 2 right. Head still in the backfield with Drake DeGroot. DeGroot looks to his right, nothing there, runs forward, tripped up, picks up about 5 yards there, up to the 23-yard line.
Good enough gain for DeGroot there. Gets it to about 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7.
Good decision making there.
It's very manageable.
Now Damon Head coming off and Darius Mason coming on for the Tigers. 3rd down and 7. Under 1:20 now in the third quarter. 3 wide receivers right, 1 left. Ball in the middle of the field. DeGroot takes the snap. He drops back, looks to his left, nothing there. Looks to his right, pressure coming. Gets it to Darius Mason. No gain there on the catch. Looking for his outlet pass. Nothing there.
That's just unfortunate for the Tigers, having to go 3 and out there, hopefully to retake the lead. But now you're giving the ball to the Wolves, and they're this is going to take the clock almost down with 50 seconds to go. They're going to have the ball with the whole quarter.
So now Rico Alvarenga looking for a better punt after his previous one was shanked out of bounds. Low snap, he gets it up. High kick. Fair catch called for at the 44-yard line by Caden Shoemaker.
Going back to that last play, that 3rd and 7, it was running back screen all the way to Darius Mason. They made the completion, but Harry Linen, the senior linebacker, again, he's made so many plays today as he's done all year. Recognizes the screen and makes a tackle.
So now the Wolves will have the ball with 30 seconds left in the third quarter. 1st and 10 from their own 44-yard line. They've got 3 receivers bunched left, 1 out right. James in the backfield. Fake handoff. They'll give it to Inman, who looks like he's looking to pass. Sends it downfield, and it's overthrown. He was looking for Michael Dunnigan. Looked like they were going for the good old flea flicker there. Couldn't get it to pay off.
And good awareness there from the Valley DBs. Looks like it was mostly Gage Olson and Cam Krabari out there who's looking to make up for that unnecessary roughness penalty he had on the last drive.
It's now 2nd down and 10 with 22 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. 2 receivers alone outright. Ball on the left hash mark. Johnson with the hard count, snaps it. Pressure coming on his blind side. Throws it, catches it on the sideline. That's Inman, Maverick Inman, who's had a great game today.
And you'll take that if you're the Valley defense. Holds them to a 4-yard gain. Now it sets up 3rd and 5. Need a stop here from the defense. Get the ball back to your offense.
It'll be interesting to see what they do here for the Wolves. Run or pass.
They do have 3 receivers out left in trips formation. James in the backfield with Johnson. Johnson takes the snap. He drops back, looks over the middle. He sends it left side towards Inman. He's slowed down, and no flag is thrown. Isaiah Pinks there on the coverage. A 3-and-out now for Northwest.
That's maybe the 5th deep ball target Maverick Inman's got. He's been successful on 3 for touchdowns and 1 on another one that wasn't a touchdown. There, good coverage from Pinks. Stops it, 4th down. The Wolves will punt.
Yeah, I feel like early on in his route, there's a little bit of back and forth, a little bit of bumps, a few nudges, but overall it looked like pretty clean coverage from Isaiah Pinks. And so now Philpott will get ready to punt. Good snap, gets it up. Nice kick. And fair catch will be called for at the 11. Bobbled by Pinks, but he gets it. So now the Tigers starting at the 11-yard line. Their worst field position since starting at their own 1 on their first drive of the game.
Interesting that the Wolves had a 3-and-out as well with the Tigers, something we haven't seen this game as of usually for the Valley Tigers. That is a case that usually you see.
3 seconds left now in the 3rd quarter.
And now 3 seconds left before the 4th, as you said. 28-28, 2 of the best teams in the state. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this.
They're going with 2 receivers outright. Darius Mason in the backfield with Drake DeGroot. DeGroot gets it, hands it off right side to Darius Mason, who sweeps out towards the edge. Thrown out of bounds, and he is thrown down. A flag should be thrown here, and it is unnecessary roughness. He was dragged out of bounds, and then he was carried another 5 yards forward and thrown down. So that'll be a 15-yard penalty.
And there you go, a jolt of life going into the 4th quarter for the Valley Tigers. They'll get 15 yards on that penalty.
Yeah, it looked like Mason went out of bounds at the 15-yard line. It looks like he was thrown down at about the 22. So they will be moved forward to about the 30-yard line. Yep, so that will be on number 8, Carter Blakely, the defensive back for the Wolves, for a late hit out of bounds. Lucky with, I'd say, one of their first major defensive flukes of the game. We've seen that a lot more from Valley, just unnecessary penalties.
For the Tiger fans and Tiger community, this is great to see. A great matchup on an amazing Friday night. I think that it was just incredible.
Yeah, I think this game is definitely going better than a lot of people expected. After destroying Ames last week, there was some uncertainty, but there was also a little bit of hope that the offense can score 52 points in a game against Ames. They can score a decent amount against Northwest, which they have with 28 points.
Now going into the 4th, it's all about who has that clutch gene, who can make the plays down the stretch when it matters the most. Tie game here.
So now the Tigers playing in a very close formation. They've got 3 receivers bunched left, 2 close to the right. Ball's on the right hash mark. DeGroot alone in the backfield. 1st down and 10. Man in motion is Darius Mason. DeGroot looks towards Mason left side, sends it down the field. Wide open, that's Jaden Brown. Oh, and he can't get it. DeGroot let him just a little too much. It was at the 32-yard line of the Wolves. Brown was wide open. Tried to make the diving catch, couldn't pull it in.
Jaden Brown hasn't seen much targets today. He got that deep shot. It was almost a little overthrown, but I think Jaden Brown could have made that catch.
Yeah, I think he had to slow down a little bit for DeGroot to actually see him. And I think that little bit of a pause there, that could have been a touchdown if he ran with it in stride. So now 2nd down and 10. They've got 2 receivers right, 1 left. McGregory alone on the left side. DeGroot will hand it off to Mason, who will pick up about 2 yards there. 3 yards, actually.
And on that, going back to that 1st down play, you don't have the completion, no, but it is a great sign for Valley. This Northwest defense is certainly susceptible to those deep shots, and now 3rd and 7 on your own 30-yard line. We'll see if they go deep again.
Yeah, Darius Mason is limping off the field, so Damon Head will come back on for the Tigers. 3rd down and 7. Ball on the Tiger 33-yard line. This will be a clutch moment for the Tigers if they can pick up this crucial 3rd down conversion. Empty formation, 3 receivers left, 2 outright. DeGroot in the backfield, takes the snap, looks downfield, pressure coming from his left. He is hit hard and sacked. In there was Jack Vineyard, hit him hard on the ground.
Not much DeGroot can do there. Vineyard was in his face right away. That's actually his 1st sack of the season, which kind of surprises me because he's made a lot of big plays here today.
Yeah, it looks like they almost went with a stunt look on defense, bringing in one of the interior defensive linemen, swinging him out around the left edge, and then the linemen got their blocks messed up. So now Rico Alvarenga will be on to punt. The Wolves going with 2 returners now. That is Inman and Schumacher. High kick. Good spin on it. Fair catch called for at the 40 by Shoemaker.
And you wonder now, Northwest style of play is ground and pound. So that's going to wear down the defense and usually means you're going to have most of your success offensively in the 4th quarter. We'll see if the Valley defense has kept their stamina up or else they're going to get killed on the ground here. We'll see.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but going back to the last drive, I think that was one of the first sacks of the game for the Wolves. And fortunately, it was back-to-back 3 and outs for the Tigers.
Yeah, there's been a few close calls where the quarterback almost gets sacked for both teams with Sam Johnson and Drake DeGroot, but that was the first official sack of the game. So now Northwest going to split their receivers. They've got Inman out left and Retz out right. James in the backfield with Johnson. Man motions across the line. Fake handoff. Johnson keeps it. He is shoestring tackled by Nick Van Arkel, only able to pick up a yard there.
And Johnson's been really good at making those reads on those read options. There, I think he may have made the wrong one. Caleb James could have had some room on the outside there. Good play from Van Arkel regardless, though.
It's now 2nd down and 9. Under 10 minutes left to play in the game here. Ball on the 41-yard line of the Wolves. Wolves still getting the play in here.
Under 10 to go, though. They're going to take up a lot of clock here.
10 seconds left on the play clock. 2 receiver look. Retz in motion towards the left side. Johnson takes it. He rolls out to his left. Looking downfield, nothing there. Tries to send it out for Inman, who drops it. Incomplete pass towards the left sideline.
Lockdown coverage there from senior Isaiah Pinks, who we've seen get put on Maverick Inman a lot in the 2nd half. That's probably an adjustment they made at halftime. He's most likely their best corner, so isolating him against Inman gives the Tigers their best chance.
Yeah, Pinks is 6'1". He's got a better height matchup against Maverick Inman. In the first half, it looked like Cam Krabari was guarding him, and now Pinks has done pretty well against him in the 2nd half. 3 wide receivers outright, 1 left. James in the backfield with Johnson. Johnson tries to hard count, keeps it himself, runs it up the middle. He is brought down from behind. In there was Jerome Horn.
That is a very interesting play call there. 3rd and 9, with about 9:30 left in the game, tie game, and they decide to quarterback draw. I am surprised by that.
So now 4th down and 5. Now the offense is still out there. They could have Johnson punt it. We'll see what they do here. They have 2 receivers out left, 1 out right. James in the backfield. They're trying the hard count, can't get it to go. 10 seconds left on the play clock. Johnson's moving in close, eye for him. I can't imagine that they go for it here. Trying the hard count again, can't get him to jump. Clock is going to wind down.
They'll take the, yeah.
And what a hold for this Valley defense now. Under 9 to play. They needed to stop there. And now the Valley offense with a chance to go take the lead.
2 huge 3-and-outs for the Valley defense. That was really the break that they needed after giving up a few big plays. And so now the Tigers looking for a good return to give themselves some better field position. McGregory and Pinks are back to return the punt. Philpott will kick the punt for the Wolves. Philpott gets it up, high kick. Pinks will fair catch it at the 30.
Well, and I think it's easy to say, like, if a unit didn't do this or if it didn't do that and make those excuses, but honestly, if this Valley defense didn't allow those 2 or 3 big plays, like, other than that, they've been really solid, especially defending the run, which is what Northwest goes to a lot on offense. They've been very good.
I feel like Sam Johnson has maybe only had 1 rush over 10 yards, and that's really helped the Valley defense because that is, like you said, ground and pound, wear down the defense. And now the Tigers will have the ball at the 31-yard line. 2 receivers out right, head in the backfield with DeGroot. DeGroot will fake the handoff, throw it over the middle, just over McGregory. No safety help there. Good one-on-one coverage there from Nathan Stout.
I don't think you can blame that one on Jaden McGregory. It was a little high, but he might have been able to grab that one.
It was a little high and a little behind him. A good PA play action look there from the Tigers.
One of the first true misfires I think we've seen from DeGroot this game, which you can take as a sophomore quarterback.
So they're going to go with another wing look with 2 receivers out right. That's McGregory and Craycraft. Head in the backfield. Head will get the ball this time up the middle, and he is tackled down for a pickup of 3 yards.
And that's why taking that kind of deep shot on that post on first down is extremely risky because you go incomplete there, then you run it. Now it's 3rd and long, and you've only taken 30 seconds off the clock.
3rd down and 8 here. 8 minutes left to play in the game, tied at 28.
Tigers don't pick it up here and be back-to-back 3-and-outs.
So now they're going to go with an empty gun formation. DeGroot alone in the backfield. Ball on the left hash. DeGroot drops back. 3-man rush coming in. DeGroot has space left side. Slings it, and it's intercepted. Read perfectly. That is caught. And it looks like they will rule him out of bounds. On the interception there was Andrew Eastman, the junior linebacker.
He gets the 28.
Looked like they had A.J. Crown over there on the crosser route. Not a great read there from Drake DeGroot.
Eastman's been super solid with 20.5 tackles this season, but showed his versatility there, covered A.J. Crown over really well on that crossing route. DeGroot tried to thread the needle just a little bit behind, and a huge interception for the Wolves.
So now 1st down and 10 from the 29-yard line of the Tigers. 2 wide receivers out right, ball on the right hash. Johnson will take it. He'll run it himself left side, and he'll be tripped up at the 26-yard line.
Wolves with about 7.5 minutes. They get the ball in excellent territory. Can they capitalize?
Look for them to run this play clock down very far in between plays here, already in field goal range. They can take their time.
Play clock at 20 seconds now. Game clock at 7:15.
You'd expect them to run that game clock all the way under 10.
Going with the 2 receiver look down low. Retz and Inman. Caleb James in the backfield with Johnson. Johnson takes it himself, sweeps out towards the left. Looks like a push in the back, and they won't call it. Theron Castle had him in pursuit, got pushed in the back, and Johnson took it up to the 15-yard line.
Number 73, Landon Kinnan, the big offensive lineman, got out there. Maybe it was a penalty, but regardless, it wasn't called, so it's a big block on Theron Castle. Opens up the run for Sam Johnson, and Northwest is in business right now.
Unfortunate for the Tigers. I think that was a big missed call.
So another 2 receiver look. Johnson takes it himself, running towards the right side of the line. Nowhere to go. Met quickly by the defensive line for a pickup of 1. 6:45 left to go in the game.
I want to see him go back to Caleb James in the run. I mean, he's looked really good so far, especially in that 3rd quarter. Haven't seen him a lot on the last couple of drives. Instead of those QB powers, I'd just like to see maybe a read option or just a design run to Caleb James.
So now one wide receiver far left, one far right. They got a fullback in there. Fullback motions to the left. Johnson takes it. He will hand it off to James. Dacey misses the tackle. James will be only gain a yard there. It looked like he really kept that play alive there. Not much to show there. Yeah, Dacey was in the backfield quickly, just slipped right over the top of him.
Now under 6 minutes. If they run this one down, they'll be able to get it down to about 5.5 minutes on the game clock. But it is 3rd and 8. The crowd's getting loud. This is the biggest play of the game so far.
Another 2-receiver look now. Caleb James still the running back for the Wolves. Johnson will take it. He'll look left side for Inman. Over the back of the end zone, out of bounds. Good job there. Looks like Andrew Price was there. The ball was towards the sideline. Inman went up for it. Andrew Price able to push him out of bounds.
Great heads-up play there.
Inman flashed open for a while. If there wasn't so much air under the ball, he might have been able to come down with that. But ultimately, that's how you throw a fade. So it's a tough incompletion for the Wolves and a huge stop for the Tigers D.
And now Aiden Gukfo will come on for the 30-yard field goal attempt, the first field goal attempt for either team so far this game. 5:32 left in the 4th quarter. Snap is good. It's up. And it is good, giving the Wolves their first lead of the game, 31-28 over the Tigers. 5.5 left to play. We'll be right back after this short break. We've got a great game on our hands here at Valley Stadium. The Wolves are up 31-28 on the Tigers. Tigers looking to get the ball back here on the return, looking for a big return here, trying to give themselves better field position.
It is make or break for the Tigers under 5:30. Fortunately, they're just down 3, so they could score a touchdown, and that would be huge. And they can also just settle for 3 to make it a tie game.
With 5.5 minutes left, they can really, if they can get downfield, they can do whatever they want. They can kill the clock. They can just go straight for the touchdown.
These are ultimately the moments every single one of those players out there plays the game for. 5 to play, down 3 in the biggest game of the year so far here.
Philpott with a slow walk up here. Gets it up, and it's a squib kick towards the right sideline. And it's caught. Oh, and it's taken down the right sideline. Oh my gosh, that backfired for the Wolves. On the return there was Ryan Arbab. He caught it at about the 30-yard line and got it to the opposite 40. That was definitely not what the Wolves were hoping to do there.
Now can the Tigers take advantage of this excellent field position?
That's a linebacker in Ryan Arbab looking like a running back. I mean, if they didn't recover that, Northwest can go down and get that. So it was almost disaster for the Tigers, but Arbab gets it, turns into a huge play. And as we talked about leading in, if they could get down here, you can do whatever you want. Just off the kickoff, they're already on the Northwest 40-yard line.
So now they're playing very close on the right hash mark. McGregory is on the far right side. DeGroot in the backfield with Head. DeGroot drops back, rolls out to his left. He's got Craycraft left, but he sends it deep, and it's overthrown, trying to find Jaden Brown.
It's tough. Because overall, I think DeGroot's been really good today. He's just missed a couple deep shots, 2 specifically to Jaden Brown recently, that could have turned this game around.
Yeah, he had Noah Craycraft on a short, maybe 5-yard pass. But I like the chance of throwing it down deep.
Good effort for sure.
Even if they go 3 and out here, you can punt it, try and pin them within the 10, and really rely on your defense to make the stop. So now 2nd down and 10. Jakari Clark in motion out right side. Oh, and he's wrapped up behind the line at the 43.
Second time we've seen that jet sweep. Unfortunately, it does not work for the Valley Tigers this time.
I think that was pretty obvious that they were going there. Jakari Clark, he's only played in 2 plays this game. Both of them are jet sweeps. I think they know that he's kind of the guy for that one. That was quite a predictable play there.
3rd and 12 here. It's tough. It's almost predictably going to be a pass here unless you want to pin the Northwest Wolves back deep. Look for Noah Craycraft, though, the senior. That's when seniors step up late in this 4th quarter.
I could see them going with a more conservative route here just so they don't throw an interception and give the Wolves better field position. They're going to go with 2 wide receivers far left, 1 right. DeGroot will hand it off to Head, running towards the right sideline, and he will fall at the 37-yard line for a pickup of 5, bringing up 4th down and looks like about 7 yards.
I just don't believe this is within Rico's range at all as a high school kicker. It'll be interesting to see what they do.
So Gary Swenson will call a timeout for the Tigers. Talking it over here. Do you go for it? It's on the 37. So it wouldn't be the worst field position that you could give up.
If I'm the head coach, I'm punting it here. It also depends how good of a punter Rico is. But if he can pin him back, specifically inside the 10-yard line, you have plenty of time with all of your timeouts to get the ball back. But to put it simply, it's kind of poor execution, getting it on your 40-yard line and not being able to move the ball at all.
We've seen a situation like this week 1 against Southeast Polk, where Southeast Polk, I believe, had about 6 minutes with the lead, and they drained it all the way. So it'll be interesting to see what Gary does here with a 4th and 7 that's manageable, but you'd give up some field position.
So you have 4:11 left to play in the game.
Because you can also look at it, if you go for it here and don't get it, it's not like you're leaving Northwest in good field position. They'd be on their own 36-yard line, so you can still get a stop and get the ball back.
And yeah, if you punt it, it might go into the end zone. It might go at the 20 anyways. So a 20-yard difference, well, it seems like a lot. It's really not. And yeah, they are going to go for it here.
Biggest play of the game.
They've got 3 receivers bunched on the left side of the line of scrimmage. McGregory alone on the right side, lone receiver. Drake DeGroot drops back, looks to his left, looks up, steps up in the pocket, throws it forward. Incomplete pass. He was looking for Jaden Brown that time. Good coverage there. I think DeGroot could have probably ran it there. He had a little bit of space in front of him. He would have gotten a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage. Might not have gotten the first down, but he would have been close.
Number 25, Matt Lindholm. You got to give credit there. That is great coverage and a huge play. Now with 4 minutes left and a 3-point lead. Northwest with a chance to end this game if they can get a couple first downs.
The Tigers with 2 timeouts now. Look for a run here from Northwest. Wing formation with 2 receivers outright. Johnson trying the hard count, keeps himself, sweeps out to the left, and he will be wrapped up out of bounds for a pickup of 2. And because he went out of bounds, that clock will stop. That's definitely something that you don't want to do if you're Northwest, is stop the clock.
This is the time where Valley has got to put on the brakes on this quarterback draw.
They're going to bring in a fullback in Cole Lynch now. Caleb James has played the majority of the second half. He's played phenomenal. Him and Damon Head both have had great games. They've slowed it down a little bit in the second quarter. Man motioning across the line. Handoff to James. He cuts towards the right side, makes a man miss, and he'll be tripped up by Andrew Price for a pickup of 2 at the 41-yard line, bringing up a 3rd down and 6.
It is interesting because Woodruff had 100 more yards rushing coming into this game than Caleb James, but James just looked like the feature back tonight and looked a lot more explosive. But here we go, 3rd down and 6, game on the line here.
3:30 left in the game.
Northwest is going to run down this play clock, though.
Yeah, 14 left on the play clock. 1 receiver left, 1 right. James in the backfield. Man in motion across the line. Johnson takes a snap. It's a little low. He runs out to his left. Oh, he's got a little bit of space. He might get up to the line. And he will make a cut over the 50 for the first down.
Yeah, and you can tell right when he got out there with 2 lead blockers, he had plenty of space to pick it up.
There were very few Tiger defensive players on the left side of the field. So now look for a big time-wasting opportunity for Northwest.
Yeah, under 3 to play, 15 on the play clock here. They're going to run this under 10.
Johnson will keep it himself. Maybe pick up about 2-3 yards there. Clock still rolling at 2:38 now.
No
Wolves
timeout
up
here.
3. Tigers hanging on to their timeouts here.
I'm curious. They snapped that with 10 on the play clock. Why not run that down all the way to like 3 seconds?
That is a good point.
We'll see if that comes back to bite them.
Winding it down here. Another 2-receiver look, which they've gone with the entire game. James in the backfield. Fullback motioning over to the right. Handoff to James through the middle, and he is not there. Gets about 2.5 yards.
They just called a timeout here with 1:57. But even if Northwest gets this first down, it's safe to say that this game is probably over.
Yeah, so Cole Weibel's helmet fell off there. So I don't think that counts as a timeout. And Valley will call a timeout here with 1:57 left on the clock. 3rd and 4 on the Valley 42-yard line.
Yeah, so with 1 timeout left after this one, if you get a stop here, you can stop the clock, get the ball back with about 1:50 left, and try to go down and get a field goal. But like Johnny said, if they get the first down here, it's all but over.
And you have to think that if they don't get the 3rd down, depending on where they are, they could go for it on 4th. They're on the 42-yard line. They might just try and ice it. If they can get a first down in either of these next 2 plays, that would be game.
Could be interesting, the play call for the Wolves. They could possibly throw it. We haven't seen a lot of that, but what's been working is that quarterback draw. Is Valley ready for it?
But with them utilizing the quarterback and running back options, this could give them the opportunity to throw a deep shot. It would be risky.
It'd certainly catch a defense off guard, though. No doubt.
And that would almost certainly be the game. So now the ball is on the left hash mark.
This really is the Valley Tigers season, if you think about it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now they're going with an empty backfield. Sam Johnson alone. They've got 4 receivers out there, and they've got a fullback in the backfield. So they could do a QB draw here. Johnson gets it. He will run towards the right side, back toward the left. He slides down for the first down. 1:52 left on the clock.
That will just about do it, though. I mean,
I feel like you knew that was coming with the spread formation. Johnson alone. I think Valley should have known that they were going to run that.
that's what makes them so good offensively, though. You know they're going to pound the football with the run game all game, and most defenses still can't stop it.
So now 1:30 left on the clock. 10 left on the play clock.
I don't know how mathematically Valley can get the ball here. We'll see, though.
It'll take a miracle. And now the play clock will wind down to 0, but Northwest will call a timeout.
All you got to do if you're Northwest is take 3 kneels with 1:17 left, and that'll end this ball game.
Yeah, with the clock being at 1:17, they can waste 40 seconds of play, and they've got 3, and Valley only has 1 timeout left.
Just looking
Northwest
back at
will
it,
win.
it's just the penalties that have hurt the Tigers, and a really good game from Valley. It was nice to see them perform well, but unfortunately they're going to fall short here.
Yeah, and it was just those deep passes to Maverick Inman that there were sometimes where he was wide open, or the coverage would fail. And yeah, like you said, Burton, you can't blame one specific unit, but maybe you just cut down one of those touchdowns, or maybe you cut down one of the crucial defensive penalties.
Only 1 touchdown score from the Valley Tigers this half.
But yeah, adding on to that point, this offense has had the chances. They've been down 3 the last couple drives. All you need to do is go down and get 3. Haven't been able to do it, and unfortunately that's going to cost them this game and maybe even their season.
And you would have to bet that Gary Swenson is not going to be happy with his team. They had a defensive pass interference on 3rd down. that then ended up bringing up a first down. They had a fourth down, unnecessary roughness, and then the encroachment on 3rd and 5. There's just too many mental mistakes. So now Johnson will take the knee, clock will start winding down, and Gary Swenson will call a timeout.
I'm not 100% sure how the playoffs is going to work with the strength of schedule, but 1-5, I just don't know the chances here.
I don't know. I mean, it's easy to talk about the playoffs when, I mean, it's Valley football, right? They're there almost every year, but at 1-5, the playoffs seem pretty much out of reach.
Even if they do win out, their only notable win would be against Ankeny. And is that enough to get them the RPI rankings to get in sub-state? It's unlikely, but it is possible.
There's a chance for sure. I mean,
They got to beat the Ankeny Hawks first.
That is true. If they go 3-6, there's no way that they're making it. But you also have to, I'm sure they'll look at, hey, they played number 1 Southeast Polk, lost by 6, I believe. Lost to 14 by number 2 Dowling.
Those Johnson and Milwaukee games will hurt, though.
Those were games that should have been a lot closer. And I'm sure that was just them trying to figure out, with Caleb Jewell getting injured, they're trying to figure out their quarterback situation. Didn't really have an aggressive game plan, and now they're paying for it later on in the season. So now they're in victory formation again. And Johnson will take the knee.
well, and I don't know, regardless of schedule, because yes, they've had the hardest schedule in the state, no doubt about it. I just feel like if you're the Valley Tigers, you're supposed to be the team that other teams are looking at and saying, that's a tough game, right? I feel like you have to at least win a couple of those games. To start 0-4, it's just so hard to come back from.
And I feel like offensively, before this game, offensively, I think the Tigers did really well tonight. Really showed that they can generate offensive yardage, offensive touchdowns. But coming into today, nobody viewed them as an offensive threat. They ran the ball. They had more rushing yards than they did passing yards. They really were not taking the chances to be taken seriously as a threat.
And that's going to be it.
Yep, so the clock is going to wind down now. Final score, Waukee Northwest 31, Tigers 28. This is probably the best game that we have seen from the Tigers all season.
Lots of improvement.
That's a devastating loss for Valley, though, because this is the best that I've seen Valley play all season. And speaking to your point about how the offense hasn't been good so far, last week against Ames, which was the 5th game of the season, was the first included the first passing touchdown all season. So in the first 4 games, they didn't throw a passing touchdown. Going from that all the way to now putting 28 points up against a really good defense shows improvement, but still probably not good enough.
Yeah, and I feel like the team is definitely suffering from fatigue. You saw Damon Head wasn't really getting as many carries. He wasn't getting as many yards per carry working into the second half. The defense was starting to give up a few more of those, not necessarily the deep shots, but like the small first down games, which would then bring up another set of downs, and really that started to crush the defense.
Yeah, I don't think there's any excuses for Valley not necessarily coming into this game to lose, but when they were up 14-0, I mean, it looked like they had a good shot. It's just the second half, and that fourth quarter really got to them, and unfortunate with the loss for them.
So I think looking forward for Valley, I mean, at this point, put the playoffs out of your mind. Just know you're the Valley Tigers, right? Go take care of business against Marshalltown and Waterloo West, and then just end the season on a high note against Ankeny. Whether you make the playoffs or not, you want your record to end as good as possible, right? To just have a good feeling at the end of the season.
Especially if you can get some of these sophomores, because there are a lot of sophomores on varsity. Gary Swenson normally only carries upperclassmen with maybe a few sophomores scattered throughout, and so there's a lot of representation from sophomores. Get them some experience in these games. If they don't make the playoffs this year, they have the skills and the knowledge to do better next year and take them into the playoffs.
Absolutely. They could build amazing chemistry, and then with even the lower classes come in below them, they'll be already prepared and already know what to do, and they could have a good season next couple years. But as of now, I think they should just play out this season, focus on the next game, and you just got to move on from this.
Yeah. Talking about Northwest, I genuinely think this team can compete for a state title, you know. Maybe not the most talented team in the state. You know, you probably have to give those honors to Southeast Polk or Dowling, but if that passing offense is working as well as it was today, then this offense is incredibly hard to stop, and the defense didn't play great today, but it's still a very good unit.
Yeah, so today it was a great game from Valley, the best game that they've had all season, the most competitive game, I should say. But in the end, they fall just short, losing to Northwest 31-28. That'll do it for tonight's broadcast. Alongside Britton Morrow and Johnny Reynolds, I'm Alex Worth. Thank you for tuning in with us tonight. Everybody have a safe night, drive safe, have a great weekend.